interns and associates, and welcome back to another episode of the Cubicle podcast. I'm Charlie Armstrong, one of the co-hosts. JC Moss had to call out sick today, so obviously he's not able to make attendance, but totally fine. But today, I'm here with a very special guest, Isabel Santamaria, our queen. Hello. It is such a pleasure to have you on, and I'm so happy to hear what you have to say today, your insights, your career aspirations, what your experience has been at FIT, and down the line, what internships and opportunities you're going to be working in the summer and beyond, and what you already have done. So I'm very pleased and to have the honor and the privilege to have you on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to share.
All of a sudden, the Cubicle.
Yeah.
So to say a little bit more about Miss Isabel over here, she's a fashion student and an emerging professional with experience across styling, merchandising, sales, and showroom experience in New York and beyond. She's studying fashion design and apparel at the Fashion Institute of Technology and has been able to work in roles ranging from showroom sales, internships, to retail with luxury brands, as well as styling and vintage merchandising in New York City's fashion scene. What makes this conversation especially interesting with Isabel, and what we're going to be talking about more in the podcast, is that she has navigated a wide range of internships and ways to help really build up her early career notions for herself. And she also has firsthand insight into one of the biggest debates for students right now, whether unpaid internships are worth it. And we're going to be talking about that a lot on the podcast regarding, is it worth it, regarding internship experience versus making money from it. Is it really worth it, whether you should take it or not? We're going to talk about that in the Cubicle. And she has really made a very difficult decision lately to turn down a high-profile magazine internship because it was unpaid. And we're going to find out why she did it, even before having another offer secured. So that says it all right there, right? And then that point raises a bigger question, and a lot of students are quietly facing: how do you balance now opportunity, access, and financial reality when breaking into competitive internships and industries such as fashion? We're going to talk about her experiences in the industry, what she's learned from different roles, and what students often don't hear when they're told to just take the opportunity. So is it worth it or is it not? You'll find out in the Cubicle. Well, thank you so much, Isabel. It is such a pleasure to have you here, and I'm so excited to be able to learn more about you and what experiences you had to turn down and accept and what you're going to be working on now. And I can't wait to hear it. And so tell us how you got into fashion and kind of just take us from the beginning, your origin story.
So when I was talking about my origin story for the FIT admissions essay, or the college essay in general, because I was applying to only fashion schools, I did do some diving, and I was I think it really started when I growing up, every little girl has a Barbie doll, and so I had so many, and I just remember being really enamored with their outfits and thinking that's really cool, that they could come up with something like that, or that's really extravagant. And I've always been interested in art, but I didn't really connect it to, I guess, interests until high school. I think I went to a specialized art vocational school, and I was just surrounded by a lot of ambitious people who knew what they wanted to do, and I kind of didn't. I really liked art, but I knew I didn't want to be a painter or anything. And then I always liked to write about fashion and keep up with that, and then I realized maybe I should try fashion art and combine it. And so I did a pre-college course at FIT the summer before my junior year, and I was well, if I'm gonna do this, I want to know when I can do this, and this is what I want to do, and if I enjoy it. And I really did enjoy it a lot, and I started bringing that more into my art. And I did another pre-college at SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, and I was no, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to apply to college for. And yeah, I think that's how it helped me realize that is my interest and that's my passion, this is what I'm studying. And then my high school was really great in getting me experience in the industry, because you had to do an internship your senior year for a marking period, so a quarter of the year. And then I didn't get fashion design experience because I live in a small town in New Jersey, and so there's not really a fashion design studio down the street. But I worked in retail, and learning how to make a store and a brand identity helped me along with my designs, especially thinking down the line maybe one day I want to own a brand or curate stuff. So that kind of helped me get my foot in the door at the industry, I guess.
Cool, that's so interesting. So you got a little bit of experience with like being involved in SCAD.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously SCAD is a really big competitor compared to FIT. What made you choose FIT over SCAD?
I really love Savannah as a city, and it is like a great school. I mean, the facilities are amazing, but you're like in New York for FIT. Like, it's like that's the selling point of FIT, is that you're in New York, and in Savannah I was like, I knew I wanted to work and do all these creative stuff outside of school. I was like, am I gonna get that in Savannah? Like, no, like it's not even Georgia's biggest city. Like, if be in Atlanta, like, you know? And so that, and like the price of FIT is just so competitive compared to other art schools. And I knew, like, for me at least, like, I didn't want to be in like piles of debt for what ultimately is an art degree, and it is a risk that you're taking with it. And yeah, FIT, like, I just had that feeling when I was like touring school, like, this is like, I need to be at FIT, like, this is where all the designers go, like, the professors are just like amazing, and like there's just the things that FIT offers with connections to certain like fashion houses, like certain brands and stuff will only hire FIT students, whereas like you don't really hear that for SCAD, I guess. They don't have that history and reputation with brands and higher end designers, so I think that ultimately was like the selling point, and like why I chose FIT was like be all end all for me. Like, if I didn't get in, like, it would have been over. Like, my life would have been over, genuinely.
Well, that's one way to put it. Well, thank God that she did, right? That we can all breathe now. That's real though. Honestly, I can imagine a ton of fashion design students were probably stressing getting in, especially knowing how this is like the Ivy League of fashion. And in regards to Savannah, because I think Savannah is great for, I heard for if you want to get into film, broadcast, and all that kind of stuff, SCAD's great. They have really great programs, connections for that. Fashion, I think I could argue it's probably better here compared to there, because it's a little bit more off the beaten path, where it's like here you're literally in the hub of fashion.
Like, our school is literally down the street from the Garment District, and we have all those ties to all those stores. Like, you don't get that any other school. And yeah, like, I remember I always talk with my friends, like, when it was application season, like, I don't think any of my friends in high school like saw me for a solid month, because I was like in so deep into it that like I needed to get into FIT. It was like my portfolio had to be perfect. I definitely, like, you know, you get into that zone where it's like you're focusing on it so much that you need to step away and like breathe, but I was like too into it. I was constantly going to like portfolio reviews here in the city with FIT professors, and like meeting online or like talking to any student here who would like look at my work and tell me what I need to do. I was like, this is my goal, and like I'm that type of person. If I set a goal, if I say I'm gonna do something, like I'm gonna do it. Like, so I just remember, like, I don't think I'll ever be as stressed as I was during college admissions season. Like, I'm so glad I never have to go through that again. But yeah,
I can imagine. I remember it being very stressful too. I think everyone's holding their breath the whole time. You're just like, whether it's you're actually applying and you really want to get into a school, or portfolios, especially if you're an art and design student, it's extremely stressful. Regarding your portfolio, so I know obviously they have, you know, very specific standards and guidelines of what you have to fulfill and meet for your portfolio, although also you're showcasing your, you know, your creativity and your experiences and your background. How long did it take you to make your portfolio? What was the experience like to make it? Like, what did you kind of make sure you include in it? Like, tell us a little more about it. I'm very curious.
So FIT is actually so unique in the admissions process. Like, they have for fashion design, like, entire what specifically they want from you. Like, they want this amount of artwork from you, strictly only fashion work. Like, other schools, like Pratt and like Parsons and like SCAD, they want to see like your range of art. So like I had to include like fine art stuff, like still lifes and stuff like that, whereas FIT is like, do not turn that in, like we will not look at it, we just want your fashion work, because you know it is like the Ivy League of fashion school, so they have so many applications that they're just like fashion art only. So FIT is like 2 to 3 garments, and then like a mix and match project with the location and the artwork. And so I started taking sewing class after school, like probably like the fall of my junior year. I remember talking to a guy at FIT admissions at like a college fair, being like, I want to do this, and he was like, do you know how to sew yet? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh, like, girl, you better, like, start learning now. And that, like, scared me to my core. It's like, I'm so behind, like, I need to catch up. So I started doing sewing, and I think I started, like, my portfolio projects, like, probably the spring, summer before admissions season, and I was done with my sewing projects in November of my senior year. And then I felt as if I started late, so I started my art projects around October, and the portfolio for FIT is due like February 1st. So I like wanted mentally to be ready early, but like I kept like getting critique and like feedback from professors that I'd have to like start over again, keep starting over, and like I didn't want to rush like the inspiration, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't want to just make something to make something. So like for the mix and match, you have to choose a location, and obviously like FITs like don't like pick Paris or New York. You know how many portfolios of Paris and New York we get. So I like wanted to do something personal to me, and I had a hard time like deciding what that place was gonna be. And then I actually ended up doing like a town like really close to my hometown that me and my friends would always hang out in, and that like it like I literally put my heart and soul into my portfolio, and like that made me feel really good. And I think when you show yourself like that through your portfolio, it really like you may not be like skilled technically, but like if your heart like shows through it, I think it goes like miles above like with admissions. Like if they can tell like this is like your passion, this is what you do all day, like that is it. But yeah, compared to other schools, like I applied to, I guess the other like big fashion school is the University of the Arts London. I applied there, and like it was not as all as strict as FIT. Like I've never seen something as intense as the portfolio requirements for FIT, which made me be like, yeah, this is like the number one place to be. Like that's where I'm gonna be. Yeah.
I see. No, that's so cool. Do you think you could see yourself maybe studying like or doing something in London like down the line when you were kind of like looking at that too, or is it kind of just like?
I mean, I applied to a lot of other schools in Europe. So like I did like London, I did a school in Paris, and I did like a Florence program. So it wasn't like, oh, I kind of want to be in London, and I realized like I realized I like the sun and I like warm weather, so I was like,
Real.
I don't know if I could deal with London rainy days. They have an entirely different process there of doing things, and I knew immediately like I wanted to do design, and they wanted me to like spend my first year like learning dipping my toes in different sectors of the fashion, like journalism, business, and design. And I was like, no, like I'm not like wasting my time, like I want to do design. And that's kind of how it is at Parsons too, where it's like, and Pratt, where you like do some fine art and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want to do fine, like I want to do fashion, like, and that's why like FIT is like, it's intense, and it just teaches you everything about the industry from day one. And I think that like has prepped me a lot for like, you know, like my work experience and stuff like that. So that's why I personally, I'm a little biased, and we're a little biased, but like FIT is the best school.
I agree. If you, for studying things in fashion, it's very focused.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I like, especially if like you're very interested in fashion design, you're going to put a lot of work into fashion design. And the great thing is that if you want to study other things, you can. And that's why you can take minors. And you don't even have to do a minor.
The
you could just take
2+2
classes.
program is like, again, so unique to other schools. Like I always have to explain when I'm like, oh, I'm getting my associates in fashion design. They're like, so you're not getting a bachelor's? I'm like, no, I am gonna get a bachelor's, but like, and it, like, but it's like explaining like, oh, I can like switch to another major and minor in this, and they're like, whoa, like, and it's like FIT knows that their students there have so many different interests and like things they want to do. I think it really is like a great practice instead of like locking you in something for 4 years. Because like when I did first go to FIT, I was like, I'm gonna do fashion design all 4 years, like that's it. And then I realized like I do really like fashion design, and the program's amazing, so I'm definitely finishing my associates in design. But I also like realized I do want to explore business a little bit, and I'm gonna do like the bachelor's in business, and like that's great because I don't have to start over like from scratch with all my credits and be behind on graduating. Like I still have that like wiggle room and still can graduate on time.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a really smart thing, and it's a good way of looking at it. And you like are planning everything out accordingly regarding what you can take in the classes and all those different things. I think that's so important. FIT truly is like one of the best schools to go to. It's honestly, regarding education-wise, I'm sure you could probably attest to this too, probably one of the best decisions, I think, honestly, ever. Like, it really is, like, just so fun. And it's just, and we were even talking about it before, like, you know, rolling the tapes, it's truly just, everyone here is just so ambitious and just always is just very focused into what they want to do, their niche, their passion. And everyone's got a project or a job or, you know, and both, or if not, like 5 other things that they do to pretty much make something of themselves here in the city. And I think it's just truly so exciting to see, I think, the level of just ambition and talent, I think, just in one beautiful school in one place.
It just pushes you to like try out things you didn't think you would like try out, because like sometimes I do say like I'm doing this and I will lock myself in that, but like you'll miss like trying new things. And so I think FIT, like the collaboration between students and stuff like that, like really pushes you like to learn and like explore new ideas, and you can bring that into your own work, I guess.
So let's go on to your experiences during FIT or even before FIT, because I know you're a first year student. Tell us about your experiences across like styling, merchandising, sales, and showroom experience. Like, we want to hear everything about like what experiences have you been doing so far since being at FIT, whether it's inside or outside the school.
Oh, so I'm like a little crazy, and I personally love a job where it's high pace, high stress, like you have no time to think for yourself. I like get a kick out of it. I love it. I like feed off it, and I think that started with like my first job, like when I was 14, like I started out working in the restaurant industry, and like if you know, like it's high pace, like you don't have time to think for yourself. So I think that like conditioned me to like, this is like how a job is. And so when I started working in retail, so I had a brief like blip where I worked at Gap for like a month back home. I remember like being like, this is so boring. Like, I cannot be folding clothes like as of my 8-hour shift. And then I started doing other jobs. Like, I did an internship with like a local boutique for high school, and I actually really liked working retail there. Like, ultimately I was helping like unpackage like the new seasons, and we would talk about how like fashion is always like a whole cycle ahead. So like, let's say like right now it's spring, so people are buying for, in February people are buying for fall winter of next year, and then in June people are going to start buying for like spring summer of that next year. Like, it's always like a year ahead, I guess, in fashion. And so I just learned a lot about like the e-commerce and stuff, and that really was interesting to me. And then over the summer I worked at that vintage store, and again, like I was helping curate stuff, so it was like a little deeper than working like plain retail, where it's like you don't matter anything to the company and you're just folding clothes and like they just want you to talk. And like I did a little bit of social media too, and like I realized like that's fun. It's like not my strong suit, so I do need to work on like social media, and it is something I'm interested in, so it kind of just helped me like explore a bunch of stuff. And then my first job in New York was working retail for like that luxury company, and I like remember I was like, I want a job in New York like day one. And so like I obviously had no connections in New York. I wasn't even living in New York yet. So it was really fun like taking the train from Jersey like just to interview for 10 minutes, and then the people would be like, okay, like we'll email you in 2 weeks, and then I take the 2-hour train home just for them to email like, we're going with another candidate. And so I finally got Luca Faloni, just like an Italian menswear brand. They like took a chance on me, and I finally got that job. And it was like a completely different retail experience than your traditional like folding clothes, since it was a high luxury brand, and I started in the heart of Soho. And I was like, I actually couldn't believe they hired like this little 18-year-old girl to work in luxury sales like that, because you're really like building, it taught me how you build relationships with the client and how that is so important to a business. Because like they'd be like, oh my God, you were so great, like, you know, here's my business card or stuff like that. And it is like a luxury brand, so you're like fitting it to the customer and really like helping them find what they want. And like when that clicks for the customer, it is like, it makes you feel really good. And I had a great experience like in Soho, and then I helped open the store in Meatpacking District and kind of started there. And then I also like chose to leave because it just like, as a fashion design student, it wasn't working with my schedule, the long hours, but it really was like such valuable lessons, and I really appreciate that. But it also makes it difficult for me. Is like I have like a strong moral, like more like I need to have a work-life balance, so I need school. Like school comes first. Like, you know, I'm not paying this tuition to like blow off like my grades, so that came first. And then also like I had like no social life, and that like mentally it's draining when you're just like waking up, going to school, going to work, and then go home and then you start all over the next day. Like I wasn't seeing my friends, and I also like passion mine, like I love to travel, so like I couldn't do that either. And yeah, I like realized like it wasn't working, so I realized I do need like jobs to let me do that. So I got like an internship for the February market sales where when clients are buying for the next season for an Italian showroom. I did not like go into this being like I'm working for Italian companies only, but I've only ever got hired by Italian companies, and I didn't even know these companies were Italian when I did apply
They
to
hear
them.
your name and they're like,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what they would say to me. I'm
are
like,
you Italian?
I am, like, I'm more Spanish than I am Italian, but, like,
Okay.
I will be like, yeah, like, I'm Italian.
Yeah.
Sure, like, that, and so, it was weird, but, yeah, I was working for a showroom for, like, a month, so it was kind of great, and it was, like, very loose schedule, like, they kind of worked around me, I guess, but, again, like, working with clients, I'm kind of a little introverted, like, before coming here, but I realized, like, it just helped me, like, yeah, like, I'm gonna connect with these clients, like, I'm just gonna talk with them, and, like, you, like, hear, like, great stories, and you learn so much when you just, like, strike up a conversation with someone. Like, it may be painful, but like if you do it, like it opens so many doors, and I've met like great people like from there, and being like so open, and like again being ready for that fast-paced feel in the showroom. I had a great connection with those people, and they were like, yeah, like you can come back in the summer and work for us. So I kind of like had like a loose like, yeah, possibly I have an internship this summer, like nothing formal, but they're like on my last day, they're like, yeah, like we want you to come back, and it felt so good. And yeah, and now I've also like FIT, like I got that job through FIT job site, which we are talking how like I feel like nobody knows about it, and people like complain about not getting a job in New York in fashion, but like it's there, like that's
right
the start, that's the starting point. And like in December I volunteered for Oscar de la Renta like Market Week as like a showroom volunteer, so I was just like stripping the models and like throwing clothes on them. But like I also got that through FIT, like an email was like looking for volunteers, and I was like, I'll do it, like first email, like I'll do it. And like you can't like not jump on those opportunities, like that's what you're paying tuition for, like just like take every opportunity, because that's the starting of everything. And then yeah, we can now, like I'm starting some summer stuff, but that has been my experience in like New York in a nutshell, I guess. Like
That's great. It's a lot.
It's a
in
lot.
A very short, like, not a long amount of time too. Like, may I add, because you're a first year student, so this is your second semester
Yes.
at FIT. So it's not just myself because I'm a transfer student, but it's crazy to just see like and hear all your experiences in such a short amount of time within just like several months. That's just so impressive. And how are you feeling that you're going to be working the showroom like again like this summer and like helping out and everything? And how long is this going to be for?
So the winter market is actually pretty much longer than the summer. So the February I worked from like late January to early March. I think I'll be doing like 2 weeks in July, because also I think it runs like 3-ish weeks, but I'll be moving to Florence. Again, they're like, I had a great experience with them. They had
Like
a
you're
great.
going to Florence?
That's where Polymoda is.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
so I'm moving like then, and so I had a great experience with them, and they had a great experience with me, where they're like willing to like, oh yeah, like you can work for the 2 weeks, like it's fine, like we're chill, like you know what I mean. So I'm like excited to be back, because like again I love like my bosses so much, which you don't hear people say like I love my boss, but like I love my bosses, like
Yes. No, that's important. That's so good to hear that you love them and like you want to work with them. And how are you feeling that you're going to be going to Florence?
I'm so excited. I like again, like I knew like I wanted to study abroad, because that's something like my mom has always been like, it is a great experience, like it is life changing, you find yourself, and then like ultimately down the line I do want to like have a career in Italy. So like again, it was weird when I was getting jobs in New York, like I wasn't like scoping out like is this brand Italian because I want to work in Italy. It just so happened to, like it felt like fate when they're like, oh yeah, we're an Italian showroom. I'm like, oh my god, like wait, this is great. We only represent Italian brands. So it got me to like learn a lot about the fashion industry in Italy. So I'm excited to be physically in Italy and like physically see how the fashion industry works over there compared to New York.
That's going to be so interesting.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to hear about this. You have to give me updates on how this goes.
I'll come back and then we can talk about it.
We can talk about it some more. We can do a briefings.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's incredible. I am so proud and just so happy for you. This is just such an
Thank
amazing
you.
opportunity, and So when exactly are you leaving? Like in May, June, July? Like what exact date?
So I'm going for the fall semester, so
Okay.
I'm moving around August, but I'm leaving a little bit earlier because I'm known in my like with my friends, like I'm the crazy traveler. Like I will like do crazy, like I'll take like a crazy long bus to go somewhere. Like so we're gonna do some traveling, me and my roommate, who's my friend, around Europe, and then start school in like late August. And then I'll be there for the fall, so I'll come back like for Christmas, and then I'll be back in New York to graduate from my associates for the spring semester.
That's so exciting. That's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited for you. Planning on like you think traveling when you're like, because I know you're gonna be based in Florence, are you gonna be traveling throughout Italy or maybe like other countries like during that time, you think? Or?
I've been like fortunate to like I've been to like the main cities in Italy, like Milan, Florence, and Rome, like as a tourist, and like it was a very quick trip. But I'm excited to like live in Florence and like have a life there, and also visit like smaller, like go down south to Italy and visit like the small like towns and stuff, and like really get to see the country, because like that's like kind of me when I travel. Like I like to be in a city, but then I also just like to see how people live. I have 2 friends already studying in Europe, so I'm gonna definitely like meet up with them like in London and Dublin, and then like do girls trips and like stuff like that. But like I haven't really planned anything out yet because I don't know what like the fashion design process is gonna be like, because we were saying like fashion design students work so much. Like I can't be like, okay, I'm applying to this country this weekend, and be like, my professor say, oh, by the way, your project's due like that. So you have to like kind of take it by ear. So that's why me and my friend are going a little early to do some other traveling, because we don't know what the schedule's gonna be like. But 100%, like I'm definitely gonna travel a few places for sure.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh, I was gonna say like this. That's amazing. Like I'm hoping like you can find time to like, cause I don't know how it's gonna be
will find time.
I don't doubt that you will. You seem like you got like a good head on your shoulder. Like obviously you're doing this, like this is incredible. And regarding organizing your time and making sure you get your work done so you can do all these opportunities, like that's gonna be so exciting. So you definitely want to like someday, like I mean you got to find out from the experience yourself, but you think that you're gonna be like based in Italy? You think like maybe post grad or
so
career wise?
I'm a little crazy. I'm like known just for being insane. Over winter
Me
break,
too.
like I had a realization, like I was like, okay, I'm doing my associates in fashion design, and I'm gonna do my bachelor's in international trade and marketing here at FIT.
Oh, okay.
And internationally, because I was like, I realized like I did a lot of traveling over winter break, and I realized like there's so much like I definitely want to see. Like it was like I went to Dublin and I went to Japan to visit my friends, and like just seeing how different the world is.
You went to Dublin and Japan during your winter break?
I told you I'm crazy.
That's crazy.
Like just seeing how like different the world is, which is so cliche, but like also I just noticed like the markets there are just so different, like because the cities and the cultures are so different. And I've always been interested in like history and cultures and stuff like that, because like just growing up I had that experience. Like my dad's from Costa Rica, so we would always travel, and like I just was always like had that like culturally curious mind, like and so then I like realized like I think I want to explore like studying that, like combine my love for like other cultures, fashion, and like business all together in like one neat little package. So I'm also was like, I can't do 4 years of school. Like I'm ready to start working and like exploring and having like a life. And so I'm gonna graduate a year early because I'm gonna do like summer classes, and then I'm gonna do my bachelor's online and hopefully move to Italy and like nanny and stuff, and like get my visa going and like graduate, and then hopefully do my master's in Europe. That's my life plan for like the next 3 years, which is crazy. But like I sat down one day and I was like, this is how I'm gonna graduate early, like, and like like I just registered for classes for next semester, and I'm taking like 8 classes, which I know is insane, but like we're making it work, and it's gonna be really fun. Like I'm taking a lot of like cultural classes that I'm like really interested in. So
that's so exciting. No, that's so cool. I'm just so inspired right now. Like I'm like, you're so like beyond your years. Like it's so funny because actually before the podcast, before I even like, because I know we were like briefly exchanging you and I
Yeah.
regarding like scheduling and getting you on and everything, I was like, I didn't know how old you were at first, because I was like, I have no idea. I was like, because I saw like you like put in the interest form, and I was like, I don't know who
Like,
this
what year are
I
you?
was like, is she post grad? Is she an FIT student? And I was like, oh, she's an FIT student. She's younger than me. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's so crazy. That is absolutely. You are so inspirational. Like, I am like so inspired right now. Like, it's actually insane. Like, you can always learn so much from other people regarding their experiences and just what they want to do career aspirationally wise. And I think it's just so nice to hear that you got a plan, you're locked, you're ready to go, and you're shooting towards your goals and your dreams. Like, I am so excited to see how everything turns out. Like, and I'm sure everything is going to turn out well. I have no worry in my mind at all.
Thank you.
Like,
I think feeding the ego here.
well, I love bringing up the ego for the girls. You know what I'm saying? Not for the men, for the girls.
100%.
And the gays. But no, like, it's really true. I am so excited to see how this all turns out. We were talking about in the beginning regarding getting internship experience and opportunities and, you know, the unpaid versus paid controversy and, you know, what you kind of get out of the experience. What's your take on that, especially with, like, you looking for internships, you gaining internship experience and, like, all that kind of stuff? Like, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, so like in high school, like the internship I did was obviously unpaid because that was like a class, I guess, like it was for credit. And also like I was in high school and I still had time to like work another job, so I didn't really care. But here, like I was just like applying, like sometimes I just apply to jobs, like to apply to a job. You know, like I'm just scrolling, like I think I could like work like that. So I like apply and I'll forget about it. And I was just like in class, like bored, so I was like just scrolling on LinkedIn. I was like starting to like think about like maybe I want to work a summer internship. So I was just like looking around because, you know, like I don't love LinkedIn because so many people are on it and you're like applying with like 1,000 other people for like one job.
Really?
So it's like chances are they're gonna see my thing, like whatever. So I just like applied, just like it was easy apply, like just send the resume. I was like, okay, like whatever, like I didn't think about it. And then like 5 minutes later from this magazine I get an email like, hey, like when can you interview? And I'm like, whoa, like I didn't even look at the job description. That's how like just scrolling, like I, you know. So I was like, oh, like this is real, like okay. And so I was still working at the showroom at the time, so like and I was going home that weekend, so I was like trying to find time between going to school, working, and then going home to do this interview. Because in New York, like I don't know why, but they're like recruiters are like allergic to doing a Zoom interview. And like I get it, like it's nice to see me in person, but like it's also convenient. And so like the only time I've ever gotten someone to do like a Zoom interview for a New York job is when I was in Tokyo. So I was like, guys, like I'm not gonna be in New York for 2 weeks, like we have to do a Zoom interview. And when the recruiter was in Italy, so we obviously had to Zoom, but so I had to like find a time, and then I just like emailed him like the day before. I'm like, I think I'll get out of class, like I mean out of work like by 4, like just let me know so I can like talk to like my boss and stuff. And he didn't email me back, so I was like, okay, like not gonna get this interview, which is fine. And then Friday, that day when I was like, I can maybe come at 4, I get an email like 2 o'clock, like great, see you at 4. I'm like, oh, like I'm like in like gross clothes, like I didn't wash my hair, and I was like, I go to my boss, I'm like, I have to, it was my last day at the showroom too. I'm like, I have to run, like I gotta go. And they're like, oh, it's okay, like yeah, go home. I like do my hair, throw a nice little interview outfit on, and thank God the office was like very close to where I live, so I was able to walk. And then I do the interview, and then they're like, it's unpaid. Oh, like, oh, I didn't know that, because I didn't read the job description, which just do that. And so whatever, like I do the interview, and I'm like, what, it's a high profile magazine, like chances are like I'm not even gonna get it, like I'm so young. I told like I couldn't stay the whole time anyway because I was moving to Italy. They're like, no, it's fine. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, yeah, ideally like we need you like here every day, like 9 to 5. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and they could give me college credit, but as a fashion design major, like I literally can't do that. So it was like, okay, like whatever. And like, okay, like they said they'll let me know in a month. Chances are they're gonna interview so many more higher qualified people who are older, and like this experience is more valuable for them and for the company. But I'm not getting the job. Like I was like, whatever. Like it was like just a great interview experience, like for a company that like one day I would like to work for. And so like whatever. I was traveling again, and I'm like
world traveler over here.
I was like on the bus, like I was going to Vermont to visit my friend.
It's my favorite state.
It was beautiful. I loved it. But I'm like in my friend's dorm and I'm just like chilling and I get an email being like, congrats, you got the job. And I'm like, no. It's the first time like in history anyone's ever gotten a job. They're like, shoot, like I can't take this job. But it is like such a like the connections of that job would have been really great. So I kind of felt stupid being like, I don't want this job. Like I felt like ungrateful and I was like kind of beating myself up because it like you know that like scene in The Devil Wears Prada where it's like a million girls would kill for the job. That's
right.
what I felt like, and I felt like I was being ungrateful little Andy, like being like I don't want to work here, like, and it just like wasn't gonna work because I was leaving for Italy so much earlier than I originally said. Because like I lied because I was like I'm not getting this job, and then I was like shoot, like I like was texting my parents and I was like I don't know, like I would have to stay in New York all summer and I was planning to like sublet my room and come home, and like none of my friends were staying. I was had to work like 9 to 5 unpaid. I wouldn't have time like to get another job, or like I'd just be working like 9 to 5 and then working at a restaurant from like 5 to 10, and like I knew like my mental state was gonna be drastically different and like for the worse. But I was like, do I sacrifice all of this for this internship because it is such a high profile magazine? And ultimately I was just like, I like turned to my friend because like I also like tried to delay it, so I was like I emailed them back. I'm like, I'm on vacation. Like, I will like send you all like the info like when I return. So like I was on like my trip. We like went to Montreal, but like it was just like in the back of my mind, like I was stressing, and like yeah, my friends kept saying like, dude, they probably like a line of girls waiting for this job. Like, you need to decide. So I was like stressed. So I'm on the bus back from Montreal. I'm like, screw it. Like, we're declining this. And like, I like very professionally, like though, like, cause it is a company I would want to work for. I was just like, one, like, I can't be there 9 to 5. Like, I also had planned another trip with my friends. So I was like, I want to travel. So I just, which is like again selfish, but for me like a work-life balance is so important. So it's just like I can't be there for the company when you guys need me and I can't commit, and it's not fair to you or to me. And I was just like, I'm leaving for Italy much earlier. Like, I would love to do this like when I'm back in New York for like a more extended period of time, but right now I can't. And like to me, especially like maybe last summer I wouldn't have cared about not making money, but I mean, you know, like being in New York is so expensive, like so, and you need money. And like I have a savings account, but that savings account is going to when I'm in Italy, and I actually can't work because I'm not like, I'm there as a student, so like the government's not gonna let me work. And so all that money, my savings is going to like fund my life in Italy, and then when I come back in New York, I can't be back with $0 in my account. Like, I won't be happy in New York. And also being a fashion design student, you have to pay for some things. So I was like, I need clearly to get paid this summer so I have some money when I come back from Italy so I can like live. So it just like didn't work, and I didn't like, again, like the showroom was like, you can come back in the summer, but it was like they briefly mentioned it. We never talked like logistics with them, so I didn't know when they needed me, like whatever. So I declined this internship. And around the same time, I was like doing a little bit of networking, and my friend from high school's mom actually works in New York City for fabrics. And I was always like, look, like if you ever like know anyone or like who needs somebody, like let me know. And like I think literally the day I found out I got that unpaid internship was also the day my friend's mom emailed me like, hey, I think I know someone looking for someone. So it was more like, ooh, I had the unpaid internship, but then I had the possibility of this other internship, but I didn't know who they were, what the job was, if it was paid, unpaid, like, or if it would even work. So there was like 3 things up in the air while I was doing this. So I like texted my boss at the showroom, and I was like, hey, like I'm just trying to like make my summer plans. Like, when would you need me in the summer? Cause like I would definitely love to come back. And she's like, yeah, we would love to have you come back. Like, it's late July, like these weeks. And so I was like, okay, like I will commit to it. Like, I'm there. Like, we haven't even talked like dates or anything, like what times I'm working, but I was like, I'm gonna be there, I'll clock in. And then it was so funny with the emailing, with the networking. I was emailing a guy, happened to be an Italian company. I did not pick that, but it was whatever. And because I sent my friend's mom like the resume, and she goes, oh my god, you're going to Italy? Like, he's gonna love this. It's an Italian like wool company. I was like of course it is. Like, and he like emailed me, and I was like, he was like, it was probably like the easiest way anyone's gotten an internship ever. I like emailed him, like introduced myself, and then he just responded, you want an internship for the summer? And I'm like, oh, like I don't have to like beat around the bush. Like, okay, yeah, I do. And yes. But he never emailed back, so I was like, oh, like I just got ghosted. Like, it's fine. And then actually my friend's mom was like, no, like call him. Like 2 weeks later, she was like, call him. And that was like already way after I had declined the unpaid, so I really had like nothing besides like the 2-week showroom experience.
Right.
And I like called him and I was like, he's like, be there June 1st, and I'm like, you have to ask that uncomfortable question. I was getting to like the end of the call and I still like didn't know if it was paid or unpaid, so I got to like that uncomfortable question that you just have to be comfortable with it in New York, especially when you're talking about like how much you're getting paid and stuff like that. I just was like, hey, like, by the way, like, is this a paid opportunity? And he was like, oh, like it's half and half, because I'm technically like working for 2 companies. So he's like, with me, like I'm gonna be doing most of the work and teaching you, so obviously like I'm not paying to teach you. But he's like, for the other job, they're like, you will get paid for that. So I was like, oh, like this seems more worth my time, and they only need me like 2-3 days a week. So like I was like, okay, like I can commute from home and I can still like work at the restaurant I work at back home like nights and like make some money and still have that balance of work and life. So I was like, and I just got that like vibe is like, this is for me. Like this makes sense, like I'm gonna be happy doing this. So that's like kind of like how I went through it, because like time is money, like, and it's so easy to get like exploited in the industry, like especially fashion. Like it is like they're like, that's just how it is, like it's unpaid internships and you just gotta like work at it and finally get paid one down the line. But like no, it doesn't have to be that way. Like I volunteered for Oscar de la Renta for a day, that obviously was unpaid, and I did it for the experience. But then my first internship in New York was paid. Like it is doable, you just have to, it won't be for like Chanel, like, you know, you have to work at those small companies and like be like, no, like I do deserve to get paid for my time, like I am like a high qualified candidate, like I've been paid, like I'm not gonna just switch to being unpaid, like, you know, like I have like standards, like, and you have to set those like early on, or else you're gonna be like exploited by the industry, and it's gonna like just like, I think that's why so many people like leave fashion, is because they feel like they're unpaid and they're overworked. But you have to like, and maybe like I'm just like it's a unique experience for me, but like I feel like you need to set those standards and be like, no, like it doesn't have to be like this, like I want to enjoy my work and my life, have that balance, you know?
Absolutely. And I think it's so important to highlight that, because I do think like, I think not even just fashion, but like a lot of industries in general, very easy to be taken advantage of and exploited.
Mm-hmm.
You don't make your intentions career, you're not educated enough to sometimes advocate for what you want, and that can get tricky at times, because it's like, okay, so if I want this job but I'm not going to get paid, or you know, I'm going to work all these hours but I'm not going to get the right experiences, or anything regarding that, it's always just like, is it worth it, is it not? Like you always got to think, at what cost, or like what am I gaining out of this?
Yeah, like what is the like borderline like that we're overstepping here, where it's like, yeah, no, like this is too much work for being unpaid. Like, you know, it's like they just want to hire somebody but for all the work when they should be getting paid. Because yeah, like you're living in New York, and it's like every major fashion capital is like that. It's like, I'm living in like one of the biggest cities in the world, like I need to like make a living somehow, like, you know. And if your whole life is surrounded by this unpaid internship and you don't have time to make money, how are you gonna live? And like, how is that for your mental state too?
Exactly. No, it's true. Like we're living in a very expensive place. It's hard to get by. It's, you know, I think it's always that golden rule too. I think just treat people the way that you want to be treated. If you are a business and you want to make money, it takes money to make money. You have to not only invest into the products and services that you are promoting to other people, you also have to invest in your employees, because and the people that work for you, because they help you with getting sales, with you know, operating your business. Like you have to put them first. I think even some ways, even like over your customers, because they help you. They help fuel
100%.
how you can operate your company. And I think I hate to see, because I've had unpaid internships too. I had, not that, you know, nothing against them, but last summer, you know, I mean, me personally, I was a business owner. I would never do an unpaid internship for somebody. I would just do the work myself, or just like, you know, because I would feel terrible like not paying somebody. If it was a reason of affordability or financial reasonings to not pay somebody, I would be like no, I would just do it myself. You know, I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, like work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And have like, you know, you do all this work.
Yeah, it's basically a full-time job, you know?
Yeah.
And like I think that's why also like fashion is so like divided and stigmatized. Like we'll see it as like, oh, like you're rich if you can pursue this, because oftentimes like the people who are taking those unpaid internships don't have to worry about money, so then they're the people getting jobs, and it creates like a kind of divide for like the working class person who wants to get into like the business. And like, yeah, I had the unpaid internship in high school, and they were like, they felt bad, like these girls were like, we can't pay you, and I'm like, no, like technically I'm getting paid for like high school credit, and they're like, but we want to pay you. I'm like, I can't accept it, but like I really appreciate it though. But like that, and like I feel like if you're surrounding your life by this unpaid internship, like and you're gonna end up having like a low mental state, and you're gonna end up hating your job. And like that's kind of like what I felt at the end, like, of working luxury retail in New York. Like, I was unhappy. Like, I loved my coworkers and stuff like that, but like I was starting to get unhappy because I had no life balance, and I had to be like, I've never quit a job before, and that was my first time like, no, like, I can quit this job. Like, it's not like my life. Like, I can walk away from whatever reasons I want, and it's none of their business. And like, even when I had the unpaid internship, I felt like I didn't care enough for my job, because like sometimes while you're working, you're like, thank God I'm getting paid for this, because I would never do this unpaid. Like, that's how I felt at the showroom. Like, sometimes me and coworkers we would joke, like, when it was so busy, we're like, you know what, like, sometimes you just gotta text up, at least I'm getting paid for this. Like, all the stress, like, it's being compensated. And like, when I worked the unpaid internship in high school, I was just like, I didn't really care that much. Like, I would just be like, you know, I'd be like, I would leave early and stuff like that, because it was like, it's not gonna make a difference. Like, I'm not getting paid either way. And so I think also, like, yeah, it just helps. Like, I'm the type of person, like, if you're not like giving me what is like worth my time, like paying me for my time, like, I'm not gonna put as much effort into a job, because then ultimately I can just say, I'm not even getting paid for this, why do I care so much? Like, you know.
Exactly. It's such a psychology to this, because it's like, it is a positive reinforcement. I mean,
yeah.
It is proven that people usually will perform better and be more excited about their jobs or whatever they're doing, their role or their task, when they're being paid for it. Because you're getting something out of it. Like, even, of course, you know, experience is great, and if you can get great experience from this, you do learn a lot from experience.
Yeah.
Whether it is paid or unpaid. I do think from like a business standpoint, and in general, just like knowing how your employees will perform, people perform better when they're being paid.
Yeah.
Because they know there's motive, they're getting something out of it that truly people want. Like, money, there's always that debate, right? Where like, can money buy happiness? Can money not?
100, guys. I hate that debate. Money absolutely can buy happiness, and that question needs to be done. Like, it's over in 2026.
And you're the perfect example for this, because you travel, and obviously, if you're traveling, you have to have money.
Yeah, like,
so
100 people, like, I think do like judge me for that a little bit, because like I will complain about money, and they're like, oh, well, you just went to Tokyo and you just did this. I'm like, yeah, but like, my parents aren't paying for that. They're like, you can go if you pay. And I'm like, I bought my flights, and like, I was only able to do those things because I had a place to crash for free. And yeah, I've been working, like, people like, I think like judge me a little too soon, because you're a fashion girl, like, you don't work that hard. But I've been working since I was 14. Like, I worked like 2 jobs like all of high school, and like sometimes 3 in the summer. Like, I've been saving money so I can live like this. And like it's just like, you can't like judge a book by its cover. Like, you can't like judge everyone's fine standpoints because I'm wearing like these boots, and feel like, oh, like, you know, everything's handed to her. Like, no, like, I work for this, and like that's kind of why I think I'm like, so like, I'm not doing the stuff unpaid, because like I love my job at the showroom. But you know, you have those days at work where you're like like, you're having a bad day, you're stressed, like, you know, someone's snippy to you, and you're just like, I would never do this unpaid. Like, I literally was just like, it's not worth the stress if it was unpaid, like, you know? And yeah, I was like, you know, like, I love that job, but like, I was like, thank God. Like, thank God it's paid. Like, because it is like, I had like for my unpaid internship, like, my mentors, like the owners of the store, they like worked in fashion in New York, and then they came back to the Jersey Shore to like open a boutique, and they were talking about like how like toxic the industry is, and like how one of them was working for like a really popular retailer, and she was like, I was getting paid so little, doing so much work, I was like losing hair, getting skinny, and at the end of the day, like, this is something she said that I always say when I'm working too, at the end of the day, it's just clothes. Like, these are just clothes. Like, we're not doing brain surgery here, like, because like, you know, you get like, especially during markets and fashion week, you get so stressed, and like, I'll just like look, I'll be doing work and be like stressed in my mind, like in that zone, and I'll be like, these are just clothes. Like, if the hanger's on wrong, it's not the end of the world. Like, we'll live, we'll get through it. And like, you just have to say that, because it's just clothes. Like, you know,
it's not that serious. If we're freaking out over clothes,
like, yes, this is my passion, I love it, but this is a piece of fabric. Like, I'm not gonna like go into psychosis over this shirt. Like,
or people driving you crazy.
Yes, like, we'll live. We'll get through today, and like,
if it's gonna destroy your physical and your mental health, you need to do some reevaluations there. That's how I look at it, because there's no way that like working a job, like, I think any job is worth, like, whether you're in fashion, whether you're in journalism, whether you're Well, yeah, I think, you know, if you are in like health services, I think you
that's a little different.
There's lives on the line here. There's actual lives on the line here.
Fashion, there's no lives on the line. Like, this is a collection, it's gonna get sold, and then we'll never see this collection again because it was only for that year and season. Like, we'll live. Like, if there's a little, like, loose thread, like, I'm sure you, like, nothing's gonna change. Like, everything will be alright.
Everything will be alright, and that is the truth. I really do think that, like, sometimes, like, when you work jobs and you got these experiences, like, you stress yourself out, and you like, you know, drive yourself crazy, and, you know, the people, and and obviously I know you thrive off of really high pressure, intense environments, but yeah, for I think a lot of people, I think it's just like, because me, I mean, I've worked in high pressure, high stress environments too, and then it's like, you're always just like, oh my god, like, what's happening? Like, I'm, you know, losing my mind, and then I'm like, always like, is it really worth it? Whether you're in fashion, whether you're working at a bakery, you know, whether you're, you know, working at a financial firm, like, I think it just, you know, no matter what, like, if it's gonna affect your physical and mental health,
it's, like, not worth it. And that's what, like, when I started working at this restaurant that I still work at to this day, and I love this restaurant, I was having such a hard time, like, adjusting to it. This was, like, my first big restaurant, and it's, like, you know, like, when a restaurant is through a rush, like, it gets crazy. And I remember I was, like, just dreading going to work, and I was like, do this, I don't want to do this. And then one day I was like, it's not that deep. And then, like, through a rush, like, when a customer yells at me, like, I'm so bad now. Like, I used to get, like, you know, like, nervous and whatever when a customer gets mad, and now I'm, like, trying to hold back my laughter, because, like, it's... like, like, this is a pizza. Like, are we, like, screaming at 15-year-olds for this? Like, it's not that deep. Like, it just looks crazy on you. And so that's when I, like, finally, like, started getting comfortable, like, working in a restaurant. I'm like, yeah, it's, like, not that deep. And, like, again, with the disrespect, I think, okay, so, like, in the fashion industry, everyone, like, again, devils are Prada, wears Prada. Like, I haven't had an experience where, like, I'm like, this person is truly evil. But you do get, like, those fashion people who are, like, a little snippy and, like, short with you, and, like, you know, they think they're better than you, and you just have to learn, like, it's not that deep. Like, you know, it's like, it's funny on you for, like, acting like that almost. Like, and I do feel like those people in my life who have, like, acted a bit like a Miranda Priestley, like, just short and stuff like that, I think oftentimes they're trying to push you kind of, guys, it's kind of like the movie where she pushes, like, Andy to be, like, better. Oftentimes they're pushing you to be better, and then once you, like, are, like, in that job and you're in that zone and, like, you're doing great in that job, they're, like, your best bud. Like, they're just pushing you to be better. They want this, like, you know, they don't want this 18-year-old walking in the showroom being like, yeah, I work in fashion, like, I play with clothes all day. Like, it is a business at the end of the day, and they're pushing you to treat it as such. So I think that is, like, the only reason, like, they, you know, are, like, treating you, and it's oftentimes, like, again, like, not that deep, and it's, like, very short. Like, they will treat you like a normal human being once you realize that you're taking it seriously, the job seriously, as well as, like, as seriously as they are. But, like, yeah, I've had, like, bad experience, like, where, like, I didn't get paid. Like, I still haven't gotten paid, like, from one of my jobs that I did.
You should talk to him about that. That's not cool.
Yes, I have, and I got ghosted, and so I had to file with the state, and I'm still, like, trying to figure it out. But, like, at the end of the day, like it's not worth my stress and time. If I can't get it, like, I will live. It's been so long since I worked it, so it almost feels like whatever. But, like, you do have to learn to, like, just stick up for yourself. But, like, you also have to learn, yeah, you're gonna get snide comments now and then, but you can't, like, take it personally, like, oh, like, they hate me, like, they don't even care about you. Like, it's not that deep. Like, I get, yeah, at the end of the day, you gotta be like, it's not that deep. Like, and yeah, like, they're just gonna, everywhere in life, even in school, like, even social situations, you're gonna come across, like, rude people, and you just have to be like, it's not that deep. Because if you internalize all that, it's gonna show in, like, your performance, I think.
I absolutely agree. I think it will. It's not that serious. It's not that deep. And I think,
yeah.
And I've been trying to, like, be like that too. I've been talking about that recently with my mom a lot. Like, how to become less bothered, less, like, make things more, like, unserious in your life. Like, I think it's just, like, because I think we always take things on, I think, so emotionally and so heavily that I think we lose the plot where it's like, okay, it's not that serious. And I think that's, like, what we can take really from this episode, where it's like,
it's clothes.
It's not that serious. It's just clothes. It's just whatever.
Yeah, it's a job.
Like, let them. Like, seriously.
Like, your job is not your life, and I think that's something, especially in fashion, like, everyone forgets. Like, just clothes, it's not that deep, and, like, you'll live. Like, you'll live. Like, I think that has really, like, been, since I moved to New York, like, I've been taking things unseriously. I'm like, yeah, I'm not embarrassed that I made a mistake at work. Like, I haven't felt embarrassment since that was so 2025. Like, I have not, like, yeah, you're human, you're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna have bad days at work, but that's just, like, a part of life, and if you're gonna, like, get depressed over that, like, just get a grip. Like, it's not this, like, pick yourself up, like, it's not that deep, and every day's like a new day, like, you'll live.
I absolutely agree. And I want to ask you, like, one of these, like, last questions. Do you think, because we were talking about The Devil Wears Prada
Yeah.
a little bit ago, and I know earlier in the podcast episode too, do you think the fashion industry is a good representation of The Devil Wears Prada? Like, what's your feeling on that? From, like, working jobs now and, you know, getting the experiences, working with people, talking with people. What do you think about that?
I've recently, like, rewatched it, and I think it is, like, pretty accurate. I mean, like, look, like, yeah, people are gonna be rude to you, and it, like, I mean, like, that monologue that she does about the blue sweater is so beautiful, because fashion is a huge business. Like, people on the outside will be like, it's just clothes, but, like, there's so many jobs in fashion, and, like, yeah, that one blue sweater, like, created so many jobs, and it's true, like, you have to take it seriously. Like, this isn't just a magazine, like, this is like $1 trillion industry. And like, yeah, like you'll find those people who are like gonna help you, and like, yeah, the networking's great. But like, yeah, I haven't personally like been through like almost like hazing, or like had like coworkers like who were preying like on my downfall. But like, you will work with people that you don't like. Like, I have worked with people where I'm like, damn, like, you're not taking this job seriously, and it's kind of pissing me off because I have to then pick up after you. Or it's like, you know, like, why are you here? Like, if you're like just leaving early and like you're just la-di-da, and like it's like not fair to me, and like it's kind of disrespectful. Or like, you'll just find people that you don't click with. Like, damn, I don't like your personality. Like, you're a good worker, but like, I don't like your personality, and you have to just learn to live with it. Like, and like, I've at a job, like, some girl was like, oh, Isabel takes this job like way too seriously. I'm like, girl, why are you here if you're not? Like, that's just a waste of time. Like, and that just like, it kind of like ticked me off. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take this seriously. Like, I want to work in the industry. I want to work for like an Italian company. Like, so this is like a great experience for me. And like, yeah, like, I'm not gonna waste my time and like do a half job. Like, that's a waste of my time and their time, and it's just disrespectful both ways. And yeah, I think like, yeah, like, I found myself like dressing up for work, like after the first day, like oh, like, I need to dress up a little bit, like I need to put on an outfit, because like oftentimes like in the fashion industry, it's like you either wear all black or you like dress up. So like, it kind of was like that, and like, yeah, like, these aren't just like clothes. Like, I mean, yes, it is just clothes, but like, it is a business, and I definitely think Devil Wears Prada is a good, pretty accurate. I think like, I haven't worked for like a big company like Vogue or like Chanel or like whatever, but like, I can imagine that, yeah, like, I would say like, yeah, that is probably how it is. But I do think fashion is changing a little bit, like, especially with Anna Wintour not being the head of Vogue anymore, and I think her name's like Chloe Mao. I've read like some of her articles and stuff, and she seems like a lot more down to earth, and I think that's personally like where fashion is heading. Like, it's more down to earth, like more creative. It's not as like strict and rigid as it once was. So I do think it's changing, but I do still believe for the most part it is. Guys, like, it's like the movies.
It's an accurate representation.
It's like
yes. We always leave off with this one question.
Okay.
For all the interns and associates listening in and tuning in. If you have one or multiple pieces of advice that you can give to those that are like in your position or want to be in your position, what would you give?
Yeah, I often get like people like, oh my god, you like have so many experience like for working so like for being like a first year and working so young, and they're like, I've been looking for jobs for like months and I can't find anything, like I have no offers, no interviews. And personally, like, and maybe I'm too ambitious, but like, if you've been like looking for so long, I feel like, one, you're not trying that hard, and you're just being a little lazy. Like, you really have to like, one, like I said, take advantage of the FIT job rank, take advantage like merchandising society have so many like opportunities for you to like volunteer and get like networking and stuff, and they have like recruiters coming physically to FIT, and it's like, I know that I'm gonna talk to like the audience, but I know you guys are not taking advantage of that, because I know no one's showing up to those, and you're paying tuition. Like, the school is not gonna like hand you an internship. FIT is giving you the tools to easily get one. And like, yeah, like fashion design, like they give out free fabric, and like you guys should be like running to that, and like all these stuff. Like, find out like what the school is doing, like, and like also if you're like your own creative, like we have the flea market so you can like sell your stuff, and we have the style shop. Like, do that, and then like don't be just like scrolling on LinkedIn and like every now and then applying to a job, because that's just not how it's gonna work. Like, and you have to like talk to people, like just talk to people and get those internships. Like, if I had never like told my friend's mom like, hey, like just let me know ever, like, if you need somebody. Like, that was, like, 6 months ago, and then she, like, still, like, she was, I mean, in the back of her mind, she was like, wait, like, yeah, I do know someone who's looking for someone. Like, that's just gonna, how it's worked, like, you would just have to go all in if you want to be all in. Like, you can't half-ass it, like, you know, like, that, and, like, you just gotta have a plan. Like, this isn't, like, a willy-nilly thing, like, I guess.
I agree. I think that's excellent advice. I think that's, you gotta have a plan, and you can never not be too ambitious.
Yeah. I mean, this is like tough love, but like,
I want
you to succeed. Yeah, I want you to succeed, and you gotta like, I'm gonna bruise your ego a little bit. Like, if it's been a year and you haven't had a job, girl, try harder. Like, you're not trying enough, in my opinion. You know, and so someone's gotta say it because it's gonna, you know, and it's how it is gonna be in the industry. Like, someone's gonna hurt your ego, and it's gonna like give you that strength, like. And change you, like, and like push you, be like, yeah, like that hurt, but like they said it for a reason, like it's right, like I do need to change like my behavior and stuff like that. So yeah,
like whether, you know, a job, internship, some form of experience where you're getting something out of it, you know,
yeah,
you gotta put in the work.
Yeah,
you can't just be sitting around just waiting for it to come to you. No, you have to go to it.
You're not getting that job at Chanel just sitting on your bed, like applying on your computer. Like, no, babe, like, you gotta work for that. Like, it's work to get work.
Build up to that.
Yeah.
And then even go in person. Cold call them.
Yeah.
Literally, like, go shoot your shot by going to them. Like, this isn't relationships here. This is a career.
Yeah.
They want to see you putting in the work. They want to see that you're interested.
100%.
So, no,
Cold
understand
email.
that. And cold email, because that stands out. That stands out.
I am so annoying. I literally, like, so there's like this custom couture that I love, and I was emailing her in high school. Like, I hadn't even gotten accepted at FIT. I'm like, please let me do anything. Like, just let me internship. They're like, yeah, we'll let you know. And then I was moving to New York, and I was like emailing them again, and I got an interview for like an internship, but like I wasn't to the level of what they needed, but it still was a great to like speak with someone at the company, you know, face to face. And then, you know, I was following her on Instagram, and she like posted like, hey, like I need a fit model for like these days. And I'm like, that's me. Like those are my measurements. I'll be there. And she was like, oh, like I see that you sew too. Like I do need help in that department. And I was like, I'm there. And it turned out to be an outfit for Lady Gaga. Like, and
really?
But yes, but I would never have gotten that just waiting for a job posting. Like I was on that company's ass like every couple months being like, let me do something. And like it was my first ever experience like in a studio in New York, because I literally had just moved a week like prior. And yeah, like I wasn't as skilled as they needed me to be, but like it was great, like just helping out and doing like the dirty work, I guess. But like, I mean, I was like starstruck.
It's from Lady Gaga.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like amazing, like working and seeing the studio and seeing how it's all done. Like, so yeah, like don't cold email Chanel. Like you're not doing that. But like those smaller businesses in New York, they will like take your volunteer. Like that's how you build up. Like just like send like, hey, if you're ever looking for someone, like here's like my resume. Like let me know. Like I would love to chat. If they don't respond, they don't respond. If they do, they do. Like
whichever one will be, it'll be. And everything works out the way that it's supposed to. Like it's
100%.
not like, you know, everything will align and the plot will thicken.
Yes.
It'll just make sense for
everything will work out. Like, but
just
you do need to put the work.
Yeah, put in the work and trust the process.
You can't just sit and be like, everything's gonna work out and then hope something falls in your lap. But like, yeah, trust the process. And like, yeah, once you have faith in it, something will happen. Like, I promise you.
I promise it too. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Cubicle Podcast. I'm Charlie Armstrong. This is Isabel Santamaria. We hope you guys enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next episode where all is said. Bye guys. See you later. You did amazing. You did so good.